wait! I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again?
Oh, geez. The time of discovery.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do.
Yeah, I've got this one. It's pretty obvious. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Pressing. Are you sure it was a television and not a radio?
Well, no, I guess it might have been a radio. Incidentally, there was no radio on the premises. There was only one large television. Right. Can't put my finger on it, but something about this seems fishy. Something about hearing the television.
Okay, let's go back. You can actually press the directional buttons to go back to any point in their testimony. There was a voice saying time was probably coming from the television. This couldn't be possible because we just got a blackout record, which says that it was the electricity in her building was out from noon to 6 p.m. Meaning, even if it was 1 or 4 p.m., the TV couldn't have possibly been on.
Objection!
Or excuse me, objection! Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. Slam. Epic finger point. You couldn't have heard a television or a video.
The
defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit?
No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now.
Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught.
My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please.
Hearing the time. Part 2. Hear harder.
Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it.
Oh god, his name.
There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
Wait a second.
You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Wait a second. Isn't the murder weapon a statue? I didn't hear the time, I saw it. The table clock in the apartment wasn't there. The murder weapon. The murder weapon?
Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something?
Something's fishy here. Well, let's present the murder weapon. And BAM! Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit.
Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Payne?
As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now?
Of course I do. How would he know? First off, he said that he saw the time and not heard it, so he's changed his testimony twice. And how would he know it's a clock without tilting the neck? How would he know that he's supposed to tilt the neck? So yes, Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's oh, maybe. Well, actually, no, there is a gaping hole, so he's right. There is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there!
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Slam.
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Saw It. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's this meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock?
That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard... No, I mean, I saw... Shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you! I saw him! He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death!
Order! Order in the court, I say!
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright!
Your Honor?
You claimed the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
The whole case is riding on this. Better think it through carefully. Yes, Your Honor. The sound Mr. Saw It heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25.
That certainly is a strange way to announce the time.
Darn it! The gay poor voice is throwing me off. Well, he is the thinker, after all.
So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
It's 11:25.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Saw It heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Saw It, try to talk your way out of this one.
Ha! Ha ha! You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talking about?
While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case.
He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it. I was so close.
Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately.
Slam.
This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Saw It.
I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. They treat me like a criminal! A criminal! You lawyers are all slime.
God, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Not so fast, Mr. Saw It.
Chief!
Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think.
But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that.
Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow?
I believe if you say no, it's just like, well, then we're doomed. So... Well, the only reason that a clock would ever be 3 hours slow, especially that way, would be if the clock had to be used in a different time zone. But 3 hours slow would be the east side of the United States, assuming that this is in the west side of the United States. That would be the east side of the United States. So... Unless... Unless it's 9 hours fast. Which would also appear as 3 hours slow if it didn't say the time. Or if it didn't distinguish between AM and PM. 9 hours from here, though. Well, she did go to France. I don't know if France is exactly 9 hours, but... Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder? Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt.
Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off.
Let's see the evidence that proves why the clock was running slow.
Well, passport. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. This is pretty much all we got, so... Take that! The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It, or should I say, Mr. Did It? Oh, Phoenix. What? Whoa! Dude! Slam, slam, slam. Actually, I'd say smack. Smack, smack, smack. Order! Order, I say!
Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your client.
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly, and find the true culprit at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty.
Smack.
And with that, the court is adjourned.
It turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of their house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. It sounds like Dojima's voice if it were in the 50s. Whew. I still can't believe we won.
Right. Good job in there. Congratulations.
Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. And your breasts.
Not at all.
By the way, second episode, and I'm already making a breast joke. Ha!
Not at all. Not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note.
Never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick! Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Bad, bad, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Whitney's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was... never mind.
Congratulations, Harry.
Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butt's innocent.
Oh, thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat.
Oh no, I couldn't.
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey! Here, take this. It's a present.
A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that...
Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me.
Really? You? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento.
Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry?
Larry. Are you so sure?
Excuse me?
I think she thought quite a lot of you, in her own way.
Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay.
Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him.
Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Well, my attorney's badge? Well, I don't think he wants to hear the autopsy report, nor does he care about her going to Paris. Or the blackout record, so the only logical choice left is the statue. Take that! Take that! Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? Where'd you get that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. Glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better.
Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. In order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off?
Yeah, I guess so.
Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts.
Yeah!
Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him.
Yeah, part at least.
You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks.
She wants me. And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay me, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then. That clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. My promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise I wouldn't be able to keep.